A major warning from one of South Africa's most outspoken police leaders has raised serious questions about what is really happening behind the scenes in our law enforcement agencies. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has now claimed that the police are facing a war following reports that the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, commonly known as IDAC, was allegedly preparing to arrest him and another senior police official. But what exactly is going on? And why is one of South Africa's most senior police generals using words as serious as war to describe the situation? Before we get into all the details, make sure you subscribe to SA's Political Reporter and turn on notifications so you never miss any breaking political and crime-related developments happening across South Africa. Let's get into it. According to General Mkhwanazi, intelligence information allegedly reached him indicating that IDAC had given itself 48 hours to arrest both himself and Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo. The claims immediately sparked concern and confusion within law enforcement circles. Mkhwanazi says that at first he did not believe the intelligence report. However, the situation reportedly became much more serious when General Khumalo informed him that he had received a call instructing him to report to Brooklyn Police Station. This development apparently convinced Mkhwanazi that something unusual might indeed be unfolding. As a result, Mkhwanazi personally went to Brooklyn Police Station. Speaking to members of the media outside the station, he explained that he wanted to witness events for himself. According to him, if authorities were indeed looking for him, it would make matters easier if he was already present. The police commissioner stated that he wanted to see whether the intelligence they had received was accurate or not. What makes this story even more dramatic is that Mkhwanazi suggested the issue goes far beyond a simple legal process. He described what appears to be growing tensions between certain police structures and IDAC. In one of his strongest statements yet, Mkhwanazi said, "We are facing a war." Those words immediately attracted national attention. The statement suggests that Mkhwanazi believes there is a much larger battle taking place behind the scenes, involving powerful individuals and institutions.
To go handheld, we're trying to get closer now to Nhlanhla Mate. Just forgive our shaky shot, Tabo, as we try to get to the National Police spokesman. But let's start with you, General Mkhwanazi. The developments of today, you've spoken about the SAPS wars in that July 6th briefing. I said at the Nhlanhla Commission of Inquiry every day. Is this what it's come to ultimately?
Well, we don't know. It's got a resemblance of some typical strategies that have been employed, but we're still going to dig deep in it.
My understanding is that not only has there been a warrant of arrest prepared for the crime intelligence boss, but for yourself as well. Are you aware of this?
No, well, what the intelligence we received yesterday was that they've given themselves 48 hours to make sure that myself and Khumalo are behind bars, because they believe that we have secured warrant of arrest for ADEC officials, which was, I did not believe that story, that there's something like that, because there's no warrant of arrest. And from where I am, there's not even an investigation that involves anyone from ADEC. So why would you come with warrant of arrest and a person who makes up a story? I thought it's just a story that is flying. But when Khumalo told me today that he's received a phone call by IDEC that say he must present himself at the station, so I thought the 48 hours that we were warned about yesterday, it's real. That's why I came here, so that first I can confirm with Khumalo to see the phone numbers that called him. And also, if IDEC is here, I might as well say, here I am, if you need me as well. But to my surprise, then Khumalo gets another phone call that says that he doesn't have to present himself because of some executive decision.
In fact, that's also what we've been told. Have you gotten any clarity as to what exactly happened between the time Khumalo was told to present himself and the time at which he then was not going to be processed at this police station?
There are phone numbers that call them. The people that own those phone numbers, perhaps are the one they must take the microphone and tell South Africa Why did they call them to come here? And why did they call them not to come here? They leave the seniors that told them things. As police officers who are supposed to enforce the law, they took a decision that they are going to call them to come and present themselves, which they did. And when they are now being instructed, seems like, not to carry on with that execution of the arrest, they call them to say they don't have to present themselves. So is that administration of justice? I don't understand it. So I think the officials, two of them, they made phone calls with their numbers on Khumalo and Madondo's call on phones. They need to tell South Africa what happened here. And the statement from IDEC that is just flying shouldn't be taken like that. The people that call them, they must say, we call them because we've got a warrant of arrest. So the question then, why do you decide not to execute?
As things stand, is there a warrant of arrest for IDEC head Andrea Johnson? Because there's also been lots of speculation that you and Khumalo are also gunning for her head, and this is what might have actually led to the moment that we find ourselves in now.
I've said it on record. From where I am, Mkhwanazi and the team that I'm leading, there is no warrant of arrest for any member of IDEC. From where I'm standing, there's not even a criminal investigation against any member of IDEC. I've asked Khumalo on the investigation that they are carrying out, and he indicated to me that there is no warrant of arrest against anyone. There was not even an application for the warrant of arrest. So I don't understand where the story comes from. So if people are reacting because there was a story, I'm saying it on record in front of the nation that there's nothing like that. And if there was, we would have spoken to the seniors to know about it. But there's nothing. So here we are standing because there were phone calls from IDEC, which is strange.
And they are saying now there is no Dumisani Khumalo who's been arrested. However, if we just take a look at also what's been unfolding at the Nhlanhla Commission of Inquiry, it would seem that there is a lot of turf wars, so to speak. Where do you stand insofar as what happens now going forward? Because I also understand from sources that there was even a tussle between the South African Police Service and IDEC, even when it came to interviewing someone like Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, who gets transported from eBongweni by SAPS, but when he was here in Pretoria, IDEC tried to block him from going back to eBongweni. Are you aware of this?
You know, the interesting thing that South Africans knows that Mr. Matlala was taken to custody by the South African Police Service, not IDEC. And he's been in custody for close to a year. It is South African Police Service together with DCS that took Mr. Matlala to eBongweni. When the commission sanctioned or requested Mr. Matlala to come here for consultation, he was requested. The team transported him back to Pretoria. On arrival in Pretoria, on the scheduled day where he's supposed to consult with the commission, IDEC walked into the DCS facilities to charge him. They never bothered to speak to the investigating officer that arrested him in the first place. They just walked as if they are walking to his own private home. They went and charged him in prison, and then they claim him as if it is their client. And he was brought there by the SAPS. For months he's been in custody, brought by SAPS. Just to that distance of phoning the investigating officer and say, we are here to execute a warrant for this person of yours. Can we have some working arrangement? You want this person to be in Kokstad, we want this person to be in Pretoria. That discussion should have happened in a bottle. It did not happen. The ugly part of it is that there was even a letter from IDEC threatening the Commissioner of Correctional Service about why is Kat Matlala sent to Kokstad from IDEC, as if he was presented, he arrived at Correctional Service, or he went to Kokstad because of the decision of DCS alone. So it became clear there that there's some malicious things. We know that Kat Matlala is forever out of prison because of consultation that they're busy with. We know that. We've got our intelligence that are collating information of what's happening. So we feel that there's now games that have been played. The man is in custody and he's got a number of cases. IDEC has put a case against him. He must answer to that. But the dissents of the security class are talking to each other. They said the very same person that we've arrested, we are looking for him on this case. We want to charge him. For these reasons, for him to be in court, we want to make sure that he stays in Pretoria. That discussion will have happened. So I can imagine now if SAPS charges Kat Matlala now for something else, and they go to court and they demand that he be kept in another correctional facility without talking to IDEC, there's going to be another fight again, which is unnecessary.
General, as you stand here, I see you. Where's General Khumalo?
Yeah, well, he's sitting in the car because he had to come here to the police station. So both Madon and him, they are sitting inside.
They are here at the Brooklyn police station.
Yeah.
What is going to happen next?
They're going back to work. They had to stop the meetings they were busy with to come here. Now that it is done, they must go and continue with it. We still have a lot of problems in the country. We've got June 30, that is around the corner that you need to worry about. We've got a lot of criminal syndicates that are still running amok that you need to try and arrest.
Speaking of criminal syndicates, so we're coming up to the 6th of July. Your reflections on where we will be. Feroz Khan is likely to still be on the stand, probably if he arrives at the commission when we commemorate that one-year anniversary when you decided to take it upon yourself to tell South Africans about these very SAPS wars that we're seeing unfolding today.
Yeah, well, the leadership have not authorized me to speak on that, so I can't be talking about that. I'm here today in Brooklyn because of what transpired yesterday, which affects me also personally. That's why I'm here. So I don't want to get too much involved on what is happening out there, which is SAPS and what is happening at the commission.
But let's talk about why you are involved, because to my understanding from what you've said, you were not told to come and present yourself. So in other words, you're still supporting someone that many say is your ally. What has exactly brought you here to come and be a part of this?
I said earlier, maybe you didn't hear me. Yesterday we received intelligence information that because me and Khumalo are planning to arrest IDEC officials, then IDEC have taken a decision that within 48 hours they must make sure that they get us arrested. So I dismiss that as, yes, it's information that came to us, but it can't be true because it's nothing that we're working on IDEC. But when today the phone call came, when Khumalo gets a call that says, present yourself at Brooklyn Police Station, coming from IDEC, he did not know what was it about. It brought the information that we received yesterday to the fore, and we then realized that perhaps that what we had yesterday might be true. So it could be they're calling Khumalo, maybe they were going to call me. So I look at my phone, there was no calls. But I also wanted to see the numbers that are calling Khumalo to confirm that indeed it's IDEC officials that called him. Hence I came here to meet with him because he was not with me at the time. So when I arrived here and I, with my own eyes, saw the numbers that called him, and unfortunately another number from IDEC called him to say, you don't have to present yourself, which I find strange because the information we received yesterday was affecting me, possible me and him, but today it was a call for him alone. So I thought, okay, let me come and find out whether is it true or not true, because then our colleagues from NPA, IDEC, might need to be honest and say, why did they make the phone calls to start with? Are they acting because of the rumor that was there yesterday? And if there was a rumor yesterday, I'm saying again, live on TV, there's no warrant of arrest that we have ever applied for an IDEC. In actual fact, there's not even an investigation for that matter.
So part of what I've heard is, firstly, there was an intervention either from the President's office or the acting police minister's office, but in particular because Khumalo is intricately involved in the planning, and you've also intimated that ahead of the 30th of June. So what happens then once the 30th of June comes to pass and we find ourselves back in this situation again?
Ms. Nob, I want to challenge you to get the two gentlemen, and one of them is Mr. Perumal from IDEC, to tell you why did they call them to come here, and an hour later, why did they tell them not to come anymore? They must answer that question. Because if the reason of not coming anymore was to allow them to first manage the 30th of June, it means after the 30th of June, only then they would administer justice. This is not how the justice is supposed to be administered. If they have a warrant of arrest, they're supposed to execute. What was strange for me is what they were telling me, that they were told to bring the overnight back. And I said, but that's very strange. When you arrest a person, you either go to his house or wherever he is, you arrest him. If you say come to a police station, he comes to a police station, you can't say to a person, prepare to sleep over. Say, come to a police station and he gets charged. If he has to sleep over, he sleeps over. You don't have to prepare the person for that. So those activities that were quite strange for me. But I want to challenge you to ask the people who started this, which are those that made phone calls. They must answer the question. And if they are staying the warrant, what are they staying it for? And why? If come the 30th and comes and pass, are they then going to execute? And will they be able to explain why did they not execute today? Because we came here, the lawyer came here, and we had to make an OB entry for that. So it will be interesting tomorrow if they come around and say, we are now executing. Because then they'll have to explain to court, why didn't you execute on that day? What was the reason? Who is this high authority that stopped them, and why?
And what does this mean for then police operations going forward? We've got an acting police minister, we've got an acting national commissioner. Surely that also should concern you in terms of what's just happened today and managing things going forward. This does not look good, even in terms of the morale of the police. It's like the police are fighting each other and it's an all-out war playing out in public.
Well, we presented before both the commission and other committee that if nothing drastic is done, there's going to be blood on the street. And I do hope that our executive authorities are going to do something big about this. It cannot be left like this. If we, as security cluster, the people who are charged with the responsibility of protecting citizens, we are playing with their lives, then government must remove all of us and start afresh. That means we don't deserve to be here because we are busy playing games. And that's not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be in executing our task. Us as colleagues must be able to talk to each other and get along. But it's clear that we are not getting along. And it's clear that there's fight amongst us. And if that fight, we should bring to the attention of our leaders. And if there's no intervention on that side, I'm afraid. But there's something big might happen in this country.
I mean, you spoke about intelligence that told you about the 48 hours that the IDAC leader gave her team to arrest you. What exactly, according to your intelligence, were they supposed to be arresting you for? What are they claiming you have done, both you, Khumalo, and Nozipho Madondo?
Yeah, well, the intelligence that we received did not specify. It was that because we are planning to arrest them, therefore they must arrest us first. So what charges, look, these people are arrested because they appointed someone. And what was strange today is that they were told to come to a police station, but before they were picked up at the airport. And if the similar thing was done then, they would have walked into a police station and presented themselves, but before it was not done. So why this time around? I cannot answer what IDAC is about. But I've said it before. We've got a rock squad in there. Until something is done with speed, there's going to be blood on the floor.
And let's just clarify in terms of who Warrant Officer Perimal is. I think it's the investigator that you said was a disgraced crime intelligence officer that's now joined IDAC. Is that the same Warrant Officer Perimal?
No, that's not him. He's a former police officer, detective. I know him as a good guy. He's the one that made a phone call. So obviously, he perhaps would have been directed to act like that.
What happens in the next few hours? You say Nozipho Madondo and Khumalo are here. Are you planning to leave? You're just going to separate? Are you planning to take action against IDAC? Are you going to pick up the call? You say it's very clear that you don't get along, but something has to give.
I guess we cannot display our strategies in front of the TV, can we?
What strategies, General?
I can tell you, we're not going to sleep.
What does that mean, you're not going to sleep, General? It sounds like this war is going to escalate further, General.
Mango.
Shamase. That is Lieutenant General Nhlanhla.
He went on to say that there are many players involved in what he described as this ongoing conflict. Mkhwanazi also addressed allegations that police had obtained warrants against leaders within IDAC. According to him, those claims are not true. He denied that police had secured warrants against IDAC officials and emphasized that police do not simply issue warrants on their own. Instead, he explained that such legal processes involve prosecutors and legal professionals. The commissioner stated that there was currently no investigation involving IDAC officials that would justify such claims. Despite the controversy, Mkhwanazi insisted that police officers are not above the law. He said that if police officials have done anything wrong, they should absolutely be investigated. However, he stressed that any investigation must follow proper legal procedures and be conducted correctly. According to Mkhwanazi, accountability is important, but due process is equally important. This latest development comes against the backdrop of a much larger saga involving allegations of corruption, political interference, and organized crime within South Africa's law enforcement structures. Many South Africans will remember that Mkhwanazi previously made explosive allegations involving senior police officials and political figures. Those allegations eventually led to major national attention and contributed to the establishment of investigations into claims of corruption and interference within policing structures. The relationship between Mkhwanazi and various law enforcement institutions has been under intense public scrutiny for months. His claims have sparked fierce debate across the country. Supporters argue that he is exposing corruption and wrongdoing. Critics, meanwhile, believe allegations must be supported by evidence and thoroughly investigated before conclusions are reached. Regardless of which side people support, one thing is clear. The latest comments from Mkhwanazi have once again placed South Africa's criminal justice system under the spotlight. Adding another layer to the story is the fact that IDAC has previously dismissed rumors relating to alleged warrants against Mkhwanazi. Earlier statements from the anti-corruption body described similar claims as false and misleading. The directorate argued that such rumors were intended to distract both IDAC and police officials from carrying out their responsibilities. This means there are now conflicting narratives emerging from different sides. On one hand, Mkhwanazi,